Hello, class 6. Good morning. So, this is your English teacher, English literature teacher, Pratik sir. So, let's do this chapter, Shipwrecked. That is chapter number 6, and it has been taken from The Adventures of Robinson Crusoe. So, basically, this story, it's a novel by Daniel Defoe, which was published in 1719 and more than like 200 years ago. And this novel follows Robinson Crusoe, a man who gets shipwrecked, that when the ship gets destroyed in the sea and gets drowned and stuck on an island with no food or tools for survival. So, how he saves himself, how he coordinates with the atmosphere over there, how he saves himself, how he keeps himself alive. So, that we are going to read through this chapter. So, let's see how Robinson Crusoe means coordinates or adapt himself with that climate. We started off on our voyage in good weather, although it was very hot. So he started off his journey. Voyage, we always call the ship journey as a voyage. Okay. So they started off in a good weather, although it was very hot. After about 12 days, however, a violent tornado came from the north. So it is important from where the violent tornado came. It came from the north. So around after 12 days. The waves rose high, the skies were black, and the wind howled through the sails. So, how was the atmosphere when a violent storm comes over to the sea? So, how it affects? So, the waves rose high, the skies were black, and the wind howled through the sails. The wind howling, it's an onomatopoeia where we can understand that how the sound of the wind is. Two members of the crew were washed overboard, and after a day or two, the ship began to leak. So, two members of the crew were washed overboard. So, they were already taken by the sea. Okay, the violent storm has taken them. And after a day or two, the ship began to leak. There was a leakage in the ship. We changed our course. So, they were moving towards a destination, but due to the leakage, what did they do? They decided to change their course, change their path, and drove out of the hurricane. But the next day, a second terrible storm attacked us. So, though they saved themselves from the very first storm, but they had a very unfortunate luck, and on the second terrible storm, they were attacked by another. We could see the shore of some unknown land, but the sea was very rough. The rain dashed down, and we were afraid to approach close to the land. Our only hope was to clamber into a small boat and try to row to the shore. So their only only way to escape was to shore to the island, okay, to the nearby island. So the clamber unto, it means climb into with difficulty. When you cannot climb but you are climbing with difficulty, that is called clamber into a small boat and try to row to the shore. So that was their only hope to overcome the violent storm. Four of us managed to get the boat into the sea and we jumped into it. So four of them were managed to get to the small boat and they rowed with all their might, but the waves were like mountains. So the waves were lashing onto them. Okay, they couldn't control the waves. Nature cannot be controlled. When nature is violent, it will destroy you anyhow. So waves are here compared to mountains. We struggled on, but at last a gigantic wave, greater than all the others, so a huge wave, gigantic, that is very huge than the others, hurled our little boat into the air and it sank beneath us. So the wave fully covered the boat and took it deep into the sea. So why Robinson Crusoe was now saved? We are going to know it. I'm a good swimmer, and for an hour and a half I battled in that stormy sea. So see, he's a very good swimmer. We can get the proof of it because he was on the sea for about half an hour. Okay, for an hour and a half means डेढ़ घंटा. And he battled in that stormy sea. As I caught sight of the coast, a huge wave would lift me up and carry me out to the sea again. So he was always seeing a coast. The more he was trying to go towards the coast, to the island, the more the sea was means he was dragging him back to the shore again, to the sea again. Okay, he cannot reach it because the water flows backwards. Okay, when it comes to the coast, it again flows backwards. So he was unable to move forward. If he was moving 20 centimeter, 20 meter ahead, then he was coming 15 meters back. Only 5 meter ascent. So like that. Again and again I tried to reach the shore. Again and again I was thrown away by the raging sea. Raging means very powerful. At last, raging sea. And at last I was hurled towards the shore and fell down exhausted on the sand. So at last he was able to reach to the island and he was exhausted, tired, and he fell on the sand. The night was dark without a star in the sky, and I knew lying on the sand would be dangerous. I crawled away. So why it was dangerous? Because any animal, anything can attack him. So it was better in an elevation position. Okay, he needed to find an elevated top. I crawled away from the sea as fast as I could and came to some bushes and trees. I didn't know what wild animals there would be in the forest. So I climbed up one of the trees and made myself comfortable between two great branches. So as soon as he came deep into the forest with some bushes and plants, he saw some trees too. So he climbed onto that tree to save himself from any wild animals. There I slept that night as well as I could. So he was exhausted, pretty exhausted. So what did he do? He felt comfortable on the branches and he fell asleep there. In the morning, I looked out across the sea and there was our ship a quarter of a mile away from the shore. I came down the tree and found a stream where I drank some of the cool fresh water. I lay down and slept again. The sun was high in the sky when I woke up. I resolved to go out onto the ship and try to bring back some things which would be useful to me on the island. So in the morning, what did he do after waking up? He saw the weather was very fine. Now the sun has come up and there was a stream near that forest. So he drank water from that stream. Stream brings fresh water. So it is drinkable. So that he drank some water from cool fresh water, and when the sun was high, everything was very clear to him. So what did he decided to go to that wrecked ship. शिप जहाँ पे टूटा हुआ है वहाँ पे वो डिसाइड किया कि वो उधर जाएगा, जाके क्या करेगा, he will bring back all the useful things that he needs to survive in that island. Okay, so till here we'll complete it again in the next class. We are not proceeding very fast because just your second term has begun, so we'll complete it later. So this for today. I hope you have enjoyed and listened and carefully listened, and you will listen to the part 2 also, so you will get clear idea of what the chapter is. Okay, thank you all. Bye bye, have fun.